Oh my gosh, Grandma, you're gonna be so excited about this Santa that we have hired for our Christmas party. Oh, look, there he is now. He's coming.
Ho, ho, ho! Punish! Punish!
Oh, Santa,
Punish!
Santa, what is happening right now?
I'm punishing the kids.
Why are you punishing them? This is Christmas.
I know. I'm a Silent Night, Deadly Night impersonator Santa.
What the hell is that? You just punched my daughter in the face. She's 7.
Hey, look, this is what you hired me to do. I told you what I was straight up.
No, you didn't. When I called, you said, hey, I'm a Santa Claus. I can come to your party.
Look, I told you, and thank you, by the way, you're my first client, that I only do impersonations of the Santa Claus from Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Like I know what that is.
It's the Christmas horror movie that got pulled from theaters after so many parents protested.
For the last time, I have no clue what you're talking about.
You haven't seen it?
You haven't seen it.
No way.
You're out of order!
Stop! You're killing me, Smalls.
Fasten your seatbelts.
You're tearing me apart!
Houston, we have a problem.
What we've got here is failure.
Conceivable. God damn you all to hell!
Welcome to
You haven't seen it?
The podcast described by many as the dandruff sprinkles on your nail polish flavored ice cream. I'm your host, Joey.
And I'm Erin, his wife.
Yes, my wife and co-host. This is a podcast where we watch movies mainly that my wife has never seen or heard of.
And I haven't seen or heard of many of these.
Yes, that's
if
correct.
Yeah. So, Joey, what is this movie that we're talking about today?
We're going to be talking about the 1984 horror movie Silent Night, Deadly Night. Now, this is a pretty controversial movie. It had a lot of backlash from parent groups, and it was protested. It got pulled from theaters after only being in there for just 1 week.
Oh my gosh. I was about to ask, like, how long did it take for them to pull it?
Yeah, and during...
Is it because it's Santa?
Yes, it was because it was Santa, and the TV commercials actually showed Santa, like, holding an axe and, pretty rough imagery, and they also released it in November.
Oh.
Right? And it was scaring kids, and there was a lot of backlash to it, even though there had already been horror movies where Santa had killed people before.
I don't know any of those.
I didn't either, but one was called Christmas Evil, and then Tales from the Crypt did something about a Santa killing people or something at some point. But anyway, the movie was made for $750,000, which, if you don't know, is very cheap. You can see it on screen. It's extremely cheaply made movie. There are no stars in it. And it grossed in that 1 week $2.5 million.
Wow.
So if this movie had been allowed to stay in theaters, it would have done gangbusters.
Oh my gosh, that's really cool.
Yeah, so it really goes to show you controversy is better publicity than any marketing you can do.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And
any publicity is good publicity, right?
Yep, that's what they say. And also another thing is that the marketing, it worked too good.
Oh.
So like the marketing showing Santa and all that stuff, like it created this controversy, so much so that it got the movie kicked out of theaters. So somebody give an award to the guy who came up with the marketing for that movie as well. If you can hear a little chirping in the background, it's because we just got a parakeet a few weeks ago, so he might be chiming in a little bit.
Yeah, he's a little chatty Cathy.
He sure is. His name's Dio.
After Rodney James Dio, one of our favorite. Oh, he's talking to us now.
Yes, he is. You probably can't hear it. He's doing it pretty quietly though. Okay, so Erin, I want to ask you, what did you know about this movie before we watched it?
So, whenever the movie first started, I think I saw that opening scene where Santa was killing the parents in the car. I think I remember walking past you while you were watching it one night.
Oh, could have been.
But that is the only time I've ever heard or thought of this movie.
Right. So if you're, you don't, of course, you guys don't know us. Let's say if you don't know us, but Erin goes to bed before me a lot. And she might take a bath or a shower or something before she does. And during that time, like
I love a good bath.
Yeah, she loves her baths. And I'll put on some movie, and then she'll walk out here to get like a glass of water, and she'll catch like 2 or 3 minutes of some garbage movie that I'm watching.
Most of the time, I really can't see them because I take my contacts out, and I am like almost blind.
Yeah, you got pretty poor vision.
So most of the time I don't have my contacts in, so I'm just like walking blindly through the house and I'll just see like blurred images of things.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'll still have my contacts in and I'll see some stuff.
Yeah, but then also sometimes I'll be like, hey, Erin, you got to check this out. This is Commando. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger kills like 100 dudes in this movie.
Like the other night you were watching Bad Santa 2, right?
Yeah.
I didn't have my contacts in, so I couldn't really tell what was happening. I did see a woman's boob, I think.
Could have been. It's a pretty dirty movie. So
Yeah.
Dirty's in the title.
Dirty.
I mean,
No, it's not.
I was thinking Dirty Santa for
You
some reason.
liar.
Yeah.
But I couldn't really see what was happening. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you never heard about this before?
Nope.
Okay. And when in the first 10 minutes, what did you think we were going to see?
Okay. So that's the wrong movie. Let me flip. Okay. I have a full page and a little bit more than a full page. Okay. So first 10 minutes in, I said, this is a story about Santa going on a killing spree, just wants to steal. And then literally like a minute or two later, because I think we paused it at like right after the murders. And I was like, oh, he's just going to go on his killing spree. And then whenever we went to the orphanage, I wrote this. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Little kid becomes an orphan and later in life becomes the killer Santa he always was terrified of.
Oh my God, Erin, you nailed it.
I'm a bomb-ass bitch.
Oh, I also want to mention the reason that we had to pause it is because our daughter was watching it with us.
Which she should not watch that movie at all. Even
No.
that first part, but definitely not the whole thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, I thought she was going to leave. I thought the second it got scary, she was going to be like, I'm out. Because I could just tell her.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be able to just go, to get her out of the room, I would just be like, Joliet, I'm about to watch a scary movie. And she'll go run in her room,
Mm-hmm.
which I did multiple times to get her to go to bed at night. So I thought she was going to leave. And then she starts screaming at when the woman gets
Her neck slit.
Her neck slit. And so we had to pause it and deal with all that.
Yeah. Which we shouldn't have started it with her in the room in the first place.
Oh, I'd seen way worse things by the time I was her age.
Does not make it better.
You're right, it doesn't.
But yeah, so I predicted the movie.
Yep, you sure did.
Did it happen how I thought it was? I thought he was going to be like going in a mall and he had to dress as Santa. So it's similar, but not quite.
Right. Let's just still in the general impressions area. Like when it started, were you like, this is the lowest budget thing I've ever seen? Or...
Oh my God. It wasn't until the picture quality changed. There were times where it would like be perfectly fine. I could tell it was older. But then the picture quality would change and it would be like super duper dark and then would flip back and forth. There was a note in here. I said, picture changed when he said the party's over.
Right. Yeah.
It just like after that, like the most of the top part of the movie, it was fine. Like I wasn't like,
Oh yeah. It didn't start happening until maybe
he
like
started
halfway.
killing people.
Yeah. He was totally an adult when it started happening, but this is back in the film era. There was no such thing as digital yet.
Yeah.
Everything's shot digitally now, or almost everything. But back then, you had to get something known as film stock. and each reel has about 20 minutes on it,
Yeah.
right? So considering this was so low budget, they probably had some older film stock or some different film stock, and they're like, this is all we have. We just have to use it, right? So,
Okay.
yeah, this is what I like about watching low budget movies like this is like you can see the filmmaking. It's up there if you're paying attention. Like, what else did you notice? Like, did you notice that toy store was really weird, and the shelves were all weird, and
It looked like a thrift store.
yeah, it did. It just looked like a thrift store.
Like whenever I was looking at it, I wasn't thinking this is like a high end or like nice toy store. It just looked like shit was thrown on the shelves.
Yeah, I will give them credit. It looks like a small town
Yes, it does.
toy store, but it was just they found an abandoned store in a strip shopping center, and they just put some shelves in there and some curtains up to like block off rooms, and you can tell, like you can see how they just threw stuff up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they didn't have time to do it. They didn't have money to do it. Yeah, they just kind of strung this thing together. And then another thing you'll notice, I think I mentioned it already, but there's no stars in it. There's nobody in this movie.
Yeah, there's no one that is of name.
Yeah, and you want to know why that is?
No.
Because
Yeah.
this was filmed in Utah,
Oh.
and they got regional people to do it.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is not the only movie that was made in Utah like this. Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, was also shot in Utah and has a lot of Utah regional actors in
Huh.
it. Yeah. There's a few more that I
interesting.
can't think of. Yeah.
I guess people don't live in Utah except B film actors. Is that what it's called?
Well, they're not even B-film actors. They're like regional theater actors.
Oh, okay.
And I want to, because you're a theater person. So they go and do this. Some of these people, in this movie particularly, I know none of these people were union. Maybe a theater union, but definitely not SAG.
Yeah.
SAG-AFTRA. But like, I'm sure some of those, maybe like Halloween 4, those people might have been union. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. Any other general impressions you want to talk about, or you just want to get in the movie?
No, let's just get into it.
Okay, so the movie starts out, and we are on the road with a small family of 4. And they are in the car, and they start singing A Christmas Carol.
Well, before they do that, are they on? They're on their way to go see the dad's dad,
Yeah, I believe it's one of their...
but they both call him dad, so it's confusing.
Yeah.
Like, who are they? Brother and sister?
I don't think they're brothers.
I don't think so either. But why are they calling? Well, I mean, that's not that weird. My dad called my grandma mom.
Yeah, a lot of people
That's
do
weird
that.
to me.
I think it's weird, and I don't like it, but it is something that people do.
Like, I'm not going to call your mom.
I wish you would.
She's my mother-in-law. I love her, but I don't want to call her mom. She's not my mom.
I totally understand. I wouldn't want to call your mom either.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, but anyway, did you notice the song that was on the radio?
No,
It was Christmas Fever.
never heard that song.
I wish no, I don't think it was. I think it was just they made it for the movie,
Oh.
but it was like, I've got Christmas fever, and now life is very gay.
Oh, I did see the gay part, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I thought that was so funny, and just to say,
I think a lot of the music was because like they sing a carol at the toy store when they were drunk, and I was like, this is not a real carol.
yeah, but I thought Christmas Carol, like a lot of Christmas carols are so old, like nobody owns them.
I would think so too, but
I guess, yeah. I mean, they do this kind of stuff to get around licensing.
yeah.
But that song was so funny when it said "Life is gay." I was like, "That's funny." And then so they go to the Utah mental facility, and there is a catatonic grandfather.
Yeah.
And
What do you mean by catatonic?
Like he didn't speak?
I think they were saying he had dementia.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
There's a lot of
I didn't say that word because like that's exactly what he is. Like that's just the first thing that came to mind.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's probably just demented or something. And he looks like he's only 54 years old.
Yeah,
he just
he's
looks
very
like,
young.
Yeah, he looks like he was just a heavy smoker.
Yeah.
Cigarette smoke rotted his brain. But he won't speak to either the parents.
No, either or the doctor.
Or the doctor. Everybody thinks he's just completely in his own little world and doesn't speak to anybody.
Yeah, and then the parents walk out of the room, and the little boy the little boy's left with him, and he's like, "I'm scared of Grandpa." And the mom's like, "It's okay. He's just your grandpa. There's nothing to be scared of." And they walk away, leaving him behind.
Yeah, and then it turns out Grandpa does speak, and he's got something to say.
He tells the little boy, "You better watch out because Santa is coming tonight." And you know what he does with naughty little boys is he punishes them.
Punish. I think should we
Does
remember
he
that
say
word?
punish?
I don't know.
Because I feel like he doesn't say that. Maybe he does.
Yeah, but he's like, Santa Claus is gonna get you.
Yeah.
He's coming for you. The cigarettes told me so. I also wrote down he talks like an old prospect.
He does.
Santa Claus is coming for you. You better watch out. There's gold up in those hills, but Santa's waiting there. He's gonna cut you.
Oh my God.
Oh man. Okay.
So this kid, or the parents come out, and the kid's like, he talked, or he didn't say it like that, but he was like, he talked to me, and he said that Santa's bad. And they're like, "You're lying, you little lying little kid."
Yeah, they call him a liar and that he's making up stories. And then they had just gotten there, but I guess it's already time to leave.
Yeah.
So they get back in the car and they head
Which
up.
seems like such a long drive just to go talk to the doctor. Like the doctor could have called them.
Yeah, the doctor could have called them. Maybe they thought that he would start talking again if they showed up.
Maybe.
I don't know. What do you think they even talked about for like 2 whole minutes?
I don't even know.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But anyway, low budget movie. They get back in the car to head back, and then we have a scene where a guy in a Santa Claus suit is robbing a
Convenience store. Yeah. Also, I noticed that every single Santa was dressed in the same costume.
Yeah.
They all had little bells on their little wrists.
Yeah, I think they only had one costume.
Yeah.
That would be my guess.
Yeah. So the Santa like holds him up, and then he kills the clerk behind the counter, and he steals money, and it's like $13.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that used to be a lot more money in 1984.
Okay, true. So he steals this $13, and then he even like walks out and he's like, "Just $13." And then he drives away. And then you see the family in the car asleep, and before the kid falls asleep, he's like super scared, and he's like, "Santa's gonna come for me."
Right. Yeah. And but then they come up on the criminal guy, and he's waving his arms and pretending like his car broke down.
Yeah, well, the kids and the mom fell asleep, and then they wake up. I don't know what wakes them up, but they see someone's pulled off on the side of the road, and the little kid sees that it's Santa, and he's like, "No, don't stop!" And so the parents stop because he's just a kid. You don't listen.
Oh yeah,
to
you're not
kids.
gonna. He was like 5 in that.
Yeah.
You're not gonna listen to a 5-year-old. I wouldn't listen to mine.
But also, well, I mean, I guess hitchhiking isn't as crazy. Like people would stop on the side of the road more often to help people.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I see people stranded. Like there's something wrong with the car.
Yeah, I don't ever stop though.
Well, you shouldn't. You're a woman. You're much more likely to. But I mean, I would do this in the broad daylight. I would never suggest do this at night.
Yeah.
So maybe what I'm saying is dumb. But a lot of times I don't stop. It's because I don't have any tools with me.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Like I might be a mechanic. I don't carry my tools everywhere. They're at work. They stay at work. But anyway, they stop to help this guy out, and he tries to carjack them.
Is that what he was trying to do?
Probably. He probably just ran out of gas or something.
Oh, okay.
I would assume so.
But like he seemed to immediately. Well, I mean, he does like they pull up and they're like, "Are you having car troubles?" And he's like, I don't know what he says, but he sees the little kid in the back, and the kid's terrified, and he's like, and then he takes out a gun and starts shooting at them. What causes them to start backing up?
I think because he tried to carjack them.
Oh, okay.
And then, but he shoots the dad. Right?
Also, it's unrealistic how, most times if people are going to carjack, they're not going to murder someone. The whole family after?
No, but I think they try to set up and don't do it very successfully that this guy is not just a criminal, out, that he's kind of a serial killer. Mm. Right? And even though serial killers...
He has no morals.
Yeah, he's just completely out of control. Because the same thing with the store clerk, you don't have to kill the clerk.
Yeah.
You just take the money. So this guy's just completely out of control. And that's why he tries to rape the mom too.
Yeah.
But he ends up just killing her instead. And then he goes to look for the kid.
She struggled too much.
Yeah. He goes to look for the kid, and then what happens?
It doesn't say.
Does he just get in the... No, because the baby's in the car.
The baby was in the car, and they picked up the baby.
Yeah.
So he was looking for the kid, and then nothing happens.
Yeah.
Like, he was clearly... You saw him run to the woods. There was, like, a big field behind him. So, like, you would have seen him.
Yeah.
And, like, he's like a 5-year-old. How far is he going to get?
Yeah, I don't know, but that's what this movie is really bad about. They just kind of...
Maybe he took the baby out and then just took the car.
Yeah, I get... Oh, yeah, because in that scene on the crying baby in the back seat. Mm-hmm. And then it just cuts to the orphanage.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So, I mean, I don't know. That's where this movie really, really falls short. Is like there's certain questions that just don't get answered.
Yeah.
Like we really needed to know more about this Santa character and why he's doing what he's doing. You could just put the store clerk is watching TV and it says the TV goes, there's an escaped convict on the loose.
Exactly. Something like that.
He's a serial murderer and he is armed and dangerous or something like that. And then he turns off the TV like, and then the guy walks in.
Yeah, like dressed as click.
Right.
So you don't know what he's dressed as.
Oh, that's really smart. Yeah. Hey, yeah. We ought to be script doctors.
So like it just cuts to the orphanage where the kids have grown up a little bit. So instead of him being 5, he's probably like 10 now.
I think it was 3 years later, and he's 8.
Okay,
I believe.
Yeah. Okay.
And he's at a orphanage run by nuns. Mm-hmm. One is very kind to him and very sympathetic to him, and then Mother Superior is what would you say, like a total bitch, or what would you call?
She's doing God's work. She's doing God's work.
She's doing God's work. Traumatizing kids forever.
She is. I would say she's that stereotypical mean nun thing,
right?
Because, like, I mean, I grew up Catholic, but we didn't have any nuns at our church. I barely ever interacted with a nun my entire life.
Yeah, I was just about to say...
I'm Catholic. Or I was Catholic.
I was just about to say, like, I grew up in Houston and there's tons of Catholic churches around.
Yeah. I
never see any nuns. I've seen like 2 or 3 nuns my whole life. Where do they hang out?
I have no idea, if I'm being honest. Well, we did go to a church recently, and there were like 2 or 3 nuns.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There was a nun. There was a couple nuns at my grandma's old church. And like they would come by I rarely saw them though. I never interacted with them. I would see them in a distance. There was this one point though where my hometown church, there were some Spanish nuns, and they came, I don't know where they came from, but they were with us for like a year or 2. I never interacted with them either. Like, wow. I would interact with the priest, and there was a couple other, like, they weren't priests, but they were like priest. I don't know what they were called.
Clergymen of some type.
Yeah, I guess. And I would interact with them, but I never interacted with the women, which is very interesting to me. My grandma always wanted my cousin to be a nun.
Which cousin? Tiffany? Wow.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that at all.
I know. But she was like, oh, I would love for Tiffany to be a nun.
Oh, wow.
And maybe I'm misremembering, but I'm pretty sure she did.
I think your grandma would like it if any of her granddaughters had been, I guess, is it still called the clergy if it's women?
I don't know. Actually, I'm not a great Catholic.
Oh, you're a wonderful Catholic.
Okay.
Because you don't believe in all the bad stuff.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? Oh, hey, if you're a nun and you listen to the show, write in and let us know at joeyanderinpod@gmail.com. Let us know what you do if you are a nun.
You know, when I lived with my best friend, I lived down the street. Like there was like a place where nuns would go.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
But I never saw a nun.
No, it was a big like compound and
Compound.
it was.
I know, yes. But compound sounds like
Yeah, it sounds like they're special ops military.
maybe that's what nuns are.
Yeah.
They're spies.
But I remember coming over there when we started dating and like I would see that place and I'd be like, what is that place? The grounds looked really nice. It was really well kept. And so I looked it up and it was a nunnery or whatever they call it. Sounds like they're hatching nuns. Go down to the nunnery, hatch a few nuns. But anyway, so they are at the orphanage, and Mother Superior is a very hard-ass nun, depicted in movies a lot, you know. And I think it's Mother Margaret.
I don't know their names.
She's the younger one that's more sympathetic. Yeah. Is telling her, like, look, this kid's dealing with a lot of trauma. He saw his family get murdered.
Yeah. Because she's in the room with, when it cuts to the school, like everyone's drawing pictures of Santa. And
that's right.
Billy draws a picture of Santa killing people or something like that. It was like a bloody image of Santa. Yeah. And the teacher notices, or a kid notices and like alerts the teacher, and the teacher sends him to Mother Superior. And then Mother Superior and the nice nun are sitting together, and she goes, you're not going to go out. You're going to stay in your room until I say you can leave. And she goes, like, there's more going on here than just like, he's not over it. And you keep just pushing past it. He needs to deal with it.
Right. And Mother Superior thinks that she can just be like, no, he needs discipline. He just needs to get over it.
My methods are going to work.
Yeah. And she keeps saying that. Spoiler alert, they don't work.
Yeah, they don't.
As Aaron already predicted. But so he gets sent to his room. And then he gets curious later as he's leaving. And he hears a ruckus. And he goes and looks through a keyhole and find...
Yeah, well, no. So the nice nun comes up to his room and is like, hey, you can come out and play with the other kids. Because they were building snowmen. And so she's like, okay, get dressed so that you can go play in the snow. And so he starts putting some stuff... Like she closes the door behind her to leave, to go back downstairs with the kids. And he puts his like jacket on, his scarf, and then he starts walking down the hall, and then he hears these noises of moaning.
Right, yeah. And then he wanders up and looks in the keyhole and sees two grown-ups. Yeah. Don't know where they came from. This is an orphanage. Fucking on a pile of mattresses.
Well, I think that the woman was a nun, but I don't know who the guy was.
I don't either. This is another thing that this movie is just like, this doesn't make sense, and you're not helping us to understand it in any way.
Because I wrote, who are these people having sex at this orphanage?
Yeah, I wrote the same thing.
We're just going to go, let's go in this orphanage and go have sex. Yeah. I'm pretty sure she was one of the nuns. Right. That's the only thing that logically makes sense.
Yeah, and then her male suitor came and...
I guess.
Came to visit her and go to the bone zone there.
Mm-hmm. And then I also wrote, that is one hairy ass.
Yeah, that dude had a hairy ass. So he runs down, he gets caught by Mother Superior. She goes in there to handle the two nakey nakes. Mm-hmm. And he goes down and pretends to play like everything's okay.
Like nothing. He didn't see anything.
Right. Which this further entwines that he has negative sexual feelings from this incident, right? That they're going to play into later in the movie. Mm-hmm. That he saw people doing something that's perfectly natural that grown-ups do, but he was scolded for it.
Because of what happened to his mom.
Yeah, and also, because of his mom, but it's just, that's why I said it's further intertwining. Mm-hmm. Like, he's got this trauma that involved rape and murder, and then now he's seeing two grown-ups have sex, and then Mother Superior saying, like, that's wrong.
It's naughty.
It's naughty. Yes, that's the word I should be using, naughty. Because that's an important word.
The constant nice and naughty is throughout. That was a good through line. The naughty, naughty, naughty.
Yeah.
Oh, you've been naughty.
Yes. And that was smart for them to use that word over and over again. So he's learning now as a young child, like, this is naughty and this is nice. And he's so traumatized that he can only see the world in this black and white manner.
Yeah.
Right. So then we cut to... he's a teenager, right?
Yeah. So the nice nun goes to this place. It's this toy store, and she's like,
Ira's
"Hey,
toy store.
Can you give this kid a job?" And he's like, "I don't hire kids. It's in the back, and I need a man." And then it shows,
"I need a man, baby."
And then it shows Billy, and he's like, the strapping young man.
Yeah.
I don't think he's an adult yet.
No, I think he's 18.
Yeah, maybe.
I
feel
think
like he's probably like 16 or 17, supposed to be. Because like, once you're 18, you leave the orphan. Like, you can't stay at an orphanage.
Right,
after
yeah,
18.
that's a good point. But I still think that he's 18. I think this was their way of being like, oh, you're done at the orphanage. Here's a job. Okay, good. We no longer have to worry about you.
But I think he was still staying at the orphanage.
Well, he might have been, but I just think that
Maybe
that was,
not.
I think that was the film thing. I was like, oh, look, he's an officially an adult and he gets to move on from the orphanage. He has a job and whatever. But it might not have been. He might have been a 16-year-old. But
Oh, it wasn't the guy in the orphanage's butt that was hairy.
okay, well, anyway, hold on. I want to mention something. That store clerk, the way he's kind of like snooty. He's like, look, I don't have anything for any kids. And then they're like, well, why don't you meet Billy? And Billy comes out and he's like this strapping blonde young man. And the store clerk, the way he says, okay, he could work here. I totally thought he the way he said it was like, yeah, he could work here because I want to fuck him.
Oh my God.
You didn't, like, his line read felt like that to you?
Not to me.
It totally did to me. I was like, this guy just decided that he is into men.
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
Well, I mean, it's not intended for you to see it, but just the way he read that line, and he's not a professional actor probably.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, he can work here.
Oh, okay, I can see that now.
Anyway, I thought that was pretty funny. That store guy was my favorite character in the movie.
Yeah, he's definitely a fun character.
Yeah, and I don't know if he was a regional actor or what, but he has some pretty good line reads.
Oh, yeah.
Watching him play drunk was really funny, too.
Oh, his drunk was hilarious.
Yeah.
So he's working at this in the back storage area, and it's like a couple months before Christmas. And he meets like this other person that works there, and it's a female. Her name's Pamela, and he likes her. And he's working in the back with this other guy who's this jerk,
Andy, and he's like a stereotypical kind of like New York guy a little bit.
Yeah. He's the whole time, like literally every time you see them back in the storage area, he's just sitting on his ass while Billy's doing this shit.
Yeah.
He's like trying to lift this heavy, heavy box, and he's just like, I'm going to flip through this magazine with my feet up on the table.
Yeah. And then later in the movie, he says like, hey man, I'm tired of doing all your work for you. And it's like, you haven't been doing anything the whole movie. It was weird. But he's starting to catch feelings for Pamela. He's got this guy on his back that he doesn't like. But he ultimately, he seems like he's adjusting well to working at the store and not having to live in the orphanage.
Yes. So he's doing well, and he then starts having he's at the orphanage still because he wakes up in that dream sequence about Pamela in the orphanage.
Oh, okay.
So he has to be staying there. That's the only reason they would let him back in.
Right. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's what when I was watching the movie, I was thinking to myself, like, he's turning 18 and moving on from the orphanage.
Okay.
But he totally could be 16. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't read the screenwriter's head.
So
yeah, his feelings for Pamela are starting to bring up weird feelings that he can't deal with.
he doesn't know how to understand them.
Yeah, because he never dealt with his trauma. He just pushed it down.
Because the scene with Pamela is a reenactment of what he saw in the keyhole.
Yes.
Also, his butt is the hairy one.
Okay. I'm glad you keep track of the hairy butts.
Yeah.
And also, I believe in the nightmare he starts thinking about having sex with Pamela, but then starts having flashes of his mother being raped in it as well. So this dude is dealing with a lot of pressure.
And then, so it starts to turn Christmas time, and they start bringing out Christmas things and Santa Claus, and you can see that he's like suppressing his emotions towards Santa.
Yeah, they're starting to build up a little bit because this is a rough time of year for him. Were you looking at the toys in the background?
No.
You weren't?
Not at all.
I saw so many toys from my childhood back there.
Aww.
Like He-Man and like board games like Sorry or Twister. You didn't see any of that?
I wasn't looking at that.
Oh, I was looking for all these different toys because you could tell they just put regular toys on the shelf.
Yeah.
So they didn't have the budget to make their own, but that was a little fun for me. I think might have been too early for Ninja Turtles, but I felt like I saw one.
So they start, it's becoming Christmas, and the other guy that he works with, I guess you said his name was Andy.
Andy. I believe
he
it was
starts
Andy.
being like, "You're like, something's up with you. You're being an asshole." And it's like, I mean, he's just sad. Like, he's not doing anything to you. Like, leave him alone. God,
Yeah.
get off his dick. And then it's like the last night of Christmas, the last day that the store's open. It's like Christmas Eve or something.
Yeah.
And they are like, they close up shop. But before they do, someone says they can't come into work. The person that played Santa.
Yeah. The person who played Santa came down sick or injured or something like that. And so they have to find somebody. The store manager and him have like this really long conversation just to tell us that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, this is actually a pretty important employee that it's like, oh, well, then who is it? It's the guy who plays Santa.
Yeah. So they put Billy in a Santa Claus costume.
Yeah, but first the store owner, like, he's like, well, do you like working here? Like, he really leads him into it and kind of makes him feel like, oh, if I don't do this, I'd be letting down this guy who gave me a job.
Yeah.
Right? So then he gets him in the suit and he has to play Santa.
Yeah. So like he sits at his sleigh, and then there's little kids coming up. That whole time, like, there's this little girl that sits on his lap first, and she's like struggling, like, I don't. And the Billy's like, stop it, quit moving.
You're being naughty.
Yes, you're being naughty. And the moms are just smiling at, like, oh, look at them. And it's like, your child is traumatized by this man. And then the woman says, he's so good with children.
Yeah, that's so funny.
But like, she was struggling she was constantly struggling. And then I don't remember what he tells her in her ear. It's like, if you keep being naughty, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to punish you or something.
Yeah, I think it's something along those lines. You're being naughty. Stop it. I'm going to have to punish you, or Santa's going to have to punish you or something. And it just shows like this. He's really starting to crack.
Yeah.
Now he's dressed up like Santa, and he's got kids who don't want to be sitting there with them. Because one part we didn't talk about, we skipped over it, was Mother Superior makes him sit on Santa's lap.
She does.
Yeah.
And he is terrified.
He's absolutely terrified to the point where he knocks out Santa.
Yeah, he punches him.
And what did the Santa say? He's like, "What got into that kid?" or something.
I don't remember.
No, I think he definitely cursed. He was like, "What's wrong with that goddamn kid?"
Yeah. Something like that.
Which is funny for me anytime somebody playing Santa curses. All right, so then it's a very long day at the toy store. But they finish up. They get the last customer out. And then the store clerk locks the door and he goes, "All right, let's get shit-faced."
Yeah. But before that actually happens, the nun calls and is like, "Hey, like, how's Billy?" And they're like, "Oh, he's actually playing Santa." And she's like, "What?"
Oh, I missed that part.
Yeah. She's like, "Wait, what? No, you can't do that." And they're like, "It's fine." And so I guess it's kind of far from where she is because it takes her, she doesn't even go there. Like, she doesn't drive to the...
No, she goes
like,
to the
to
police
food store.
station.
Yeah,
or
she
something.
goes straight to the police station.
Something must have got cut because the next time we see her, she's at the police station.
Yeah, so, like, she had to have gone to the store. Like, that's what I would have done. I would have gone to the store and be like, "Billy, you got to take this off. We can help you somewhere else. Like, you can't do this."
Right.
Because she knew how traumatized he was about it.
Right. Yeah, she's like the Dr. Loomis in this whole thing. You know who I'm talking about, Dr. Loomis?
No idea.
In the Halloween movies, Michael Myers had a therapist that tried to help him when he was locked up in the institution. And
I've never seen Halloween. So if you want to keep doing this, you're going to ruin the movie for me.
Okay, that's fine. You're going to forget, Aaron. You're not going to remember any of this. When we watch Halloween in like a year from now, you're not going to remember any.
Okay.
But anyway, so plus I'm not going to spoil anything.
Okay.
So Dr. Loomis is his therapist, and after he breaks out, he just goes around telling people like, "Michael is pure evil, and we have to take care." Like, so she's the only one who really understands Billy in this movie,
Yeah.
just like Dr. Loomis is the only person who understands Michael Myers.
Okay.
They understand the killer. Everybody else is just like, "Well, it's just a kid wearing a Santa suit or whatever. We don't care. It's not that big a deal."
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, sorry for that detour there. But.
So that night they start drinking, and he's like, you can see that Pamela kind of likes him, but she also has been hanging out with Andy.
Yeah.
And like they've been making out and like everything. And then so he's like, "Hey, let's go to the back room." And if she thought he wanted to do, if he like actually got her a gift, she's dumb as hell.
Yeah. Well, here's the funny thing was like they all start drinking, and then he's got some mistletoe in his hands, and he waggles that at her, and he's like, "Come on." And then they just go stand in the back of the store and make out.
Yeah. Right.
And this is messing with Billy because he likes her.
Yeah. Which is sad.
Yeah, it was sad.
So he then, Billy's up front with the other people drinking, which this is his first time he's ever drank before.
Right.
So he doesn't know how to handle his liquor. His liquor.
Liquor?
Liquor. Your liquor license. I love that. Liquor license.
Liquor license.
Liquor license. I don't want to lick my license. That's gross.
Sir, I came in here to buy booze.
So they're drinking in the front, and then they go off in the back, and then he says, "I have a gift for you." And he takes her into the back of the storage area. And she was like, why can't I open it in the front with everyone? It's like, "Well, they can't see what we're about to do, or like what I'm about to give you." And so he keeps making out with her, and Billy sees them making out at one point, and then he notices that she's gone. They're gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes in the back, and he sees Andy trying to rape Pamela.
Yes. And so it's just like post-traumatic stress. When you see something that triggers something in your brain, it makes you relive your trauma.
Yeah. So he sees that and flashes of his mom. And so he sees some Christmas lights and he wraps it around Andy's neck.
That's right. Yeah.
And holds him up.
Yeah. He's got like crazy,
He is
insane
the Hulk. But also, so are those Christmas lights.
Yeah.
With the weight of somebody, I feel like they would snap.
Yeah. The Christmas lights used to be made better. They probably had like copper wire in there or something.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just talking out of my butt here. But anyway, he hangs him and then he goes after Pamela next.
Well, she's like, you're disgusting. How dare you hurt him? Like, you're a disgusting person. I hate you. I hate you. And then that's what causes him to kill her.
Right. Does he say anything like punish or I'm going to punish you? I can't remember this part that well.
Well, okay. It seemed like he was like, I did this for you. And she's like, you're horrible. How dare you?
Right.
You scare me. And then he was like, okay, now you're bad.
Which is not the reaction that you think you would have if you just stopped somebody from
being raped.
You
Yeah, like
might
I would
be
have been like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like I would be so traumatized.
Or do you think you'd be like, thank you, but I think you were a little far strangling him to death?
Well, yeah. After he started strangling him, I probably would have ran away.
Yeah, you probably would
I
have.
wouldn't have sat there and watched him.
Yeah.
Or would I have?
Ooh.
Yeah.
So how does he kill her? I can't remember.
He stabs her.
Stabs her. Okay.
With the box cutter?
Yeah, he runs the box cutter like from her
Down
stomach
her.
up to her chest.
Yeah.
Upwards.
I don't know.
I think it was. Some reason upwards
Which I thought,
is scarier
is
than
that going to
downwards.
kill her though?
No, the kills in this are just like they sprayed ketchup on people.
Yeah. Like
A lot of the kills
if he
did
would have
not
slid it, he would have had to gone back in and slid again, and then gone in and slid again, like to get any depth in there.
Yeah,
because the box cutter is like an inch.
Yeah, it only comes out about an inch, or maybe even less. I'm not sure.
Like your skin is thicker than that. No, it's not. But still,
Right. So then he goes after the manager, the lady who has a little cake on her head.
no. The manager is drunk and he hears things in the back room.
With the owner or
the owner, yeah.
Okay.
And he's like, "What's going on? I'm drunk." And he goes in the back room and he's like, "You're hearing things." What is his name?
Ira,
you're hearing things. And so he starts turning around and then he kills him.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why he kills him though.
I don't know. I can't remember this for some reason. But yeah, he's killing these people, and maybe it's because the kills just aren't that good. They're not very memorable.
Yeah.
But I
But
can't remember.
he sees the other two bodies and he's like, "Oh my God." And then he kills them.
Yeah,
He kills
typical
him.
horror movie thing. Like you find dead bodies and then you die like
Yeah, you
3
get
seconds
killed.
later.
And then the lady that was in the front that he was singing carols with, she's like, "Ira, come back in the front," because she's wasted. And then she goes back and she sees him dead and the other two bodies, and she's like, "Oh shit!" And so she runs to the front and tries to get out, but Ira locked the door.
Yeah, Ira locked the door after all the people left.
Yeah. So she wasn't able to get out, which there's not you have to have a key, but then also your parents' door, you have to have a key on the inside to unlock it, which is so weird to me.
Well, yeah, that way somebody can't break the window and just reach in and unlock it.
I mean, that's smart, but I'm also saying I don't see doors like that really. You just see deadbolts.
Yeah, that is true. It's uncommon, but my parents' house is like that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
So then she sees the dead body. She runs to the front. And then it's locked. And so she looks over and she sees a phone, which is weird because it's like on a display table. It's like not like at the counter.
Yeah, once again, they're just like, oh, we got to get a phone in the scene.
Yeah.
It's just
So they-
low budget filmmaking. We got to go. We got to go.
Yeah. So she went and grabbed at the phone, and she dials 911. She's like, "I need police" or something.
Right.
And then he comes up behind her and chops the phone cord.
Okay. Yeah. And then he kills her with an axe. He stalks her around the store some more. And then he sees her little cake hat through the shelves. And he's
But she was
able-
hiding from
Yeah, she was hiding, but he sees and then he hits her with the axe, right?
Yeah, and she's like bleeding on the snow. Which then I don't know why she just didn't bust the window down, because like the window probably wasn't that hard to break.
But look, you can't. You always do this when we watch movies. You're like, why don't they just break the window down? It's like, because it wouldn't make the movie. The movie wouldn't work.
Yeah. She could have ran to the police and been like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazed Santa Claus."
Yeah, they
and
could have,
like,
but then the movie.
No, there's not.
But then they would lose a kill.
Sure.
The slasher movies, you want to see people get killed.
Yeah.
So you can't always it's movie logic.
Okay.
It's not real world logic. You can't watch a movie and then judge every character's actions by saying like, well, in the real world, they would never do that. It's like, yeah, this is a movie.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't know. That's just a pet peeve of mine. So he leaves the store and he just goes walking through town.
He unlocks it. How does he unlock it?
I think I just remember them showing him putting the key in the door and unlocking it.
Okay, he must have grabbed it from the guy.
Yeah, he's got the keys on him. So, see, that's some movie logic. Some good movie logic there. Just get the keys from the guy. I mean, he could have just broken the door down with his axe.
Yeah.
But anyway, he goes walking around the neighborhood or the town that they live in, and he decides he's just going to go into a random house where people are doing naughty things.
Yes. So there's this babysitter and her boyfriend are down in the basement about to screw. And this little girl is like at the top of the basement stairs, like, "Hey, I want to see Santa." And the babysitter's like, "Go back in your room and go to sleep." And so she puts she puts her shirt on and then goes up to put her to bed. And then she comes back down and she has, she takes her shirt off and they start making out again. And she's just in her underwear now.
Yeah, but what does he say when she leaves? He's like, so Santa's not going to come. And, if you don't go back to bed. And he goes, "Neither am I."
Yeah.
That was a pretty good joke.
That was a good joke. I think that couple was the funniest.
You think so?
There were some good moments.
Yeah, they had some good banter, I thought.
Yeah. They had good chemistry together. So she goes back downstairs and they start making out, and then she hears jingling and I gotta go let the cat in. He was like, "How do you know that?" And she's like, "I could hear his jingles up the door." And so she just puts shorts on. No top.
Yeah, jean shorts too. Not like some comfortable shorts that are easy to slide on and off. Like jean shorts.
Like, just put your top back on.
Which I guess in the 80s, people were probably sleeping in jean shorts and stuff.
I don't know. Why would they do that?
I don't know. Why would they? Why wouldn't they?
Because they're uncomfortable.
Oh, okay.
There were pajamas back then, too.
Whoa, no, that's like a 90s invention.
Okay. So, like, she goes back upstairs and she opens the door and she's like, "Where's the cat?" And then she hears the jingling again and he comes in, or he steps in front of her and he says, "Naughty," or "Punish."
Punish.
And then, which the way he delivers those punish lines are so bad.
I know, but it reminded me of a RoboCop.
I've seen it.
They just like, "My 3 prime directives are," like, that's what RoboCop sounded like. Could not stop thinking about that.
But she goes, so she starts running away from him and she shuts the door and locks it. And then he has his axe and he breaks down the door. Mm-hmm. And then he picks her up and then
impales her on a
antlers.
deer antlers of a severed head that's been mounted to the wall. Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was a really cool way to kill her.
Yeah, but it was not executed well. It looks pretty bad. Because he presses on.
After later on, she was just like hanging there on it.
He presses her on there really slowly. You know, like if they had found a way to do it like where she moved fast and got impaled rather than just had him slowly push through her back. Mm-hmm. I think that would have looked better, but that's hard with a low budget movie. So then he goes downstairs. Oh, and they also, the movie logic they use to explain why the boyfriend didn't hear any of the screaming was he was down. He turned the music on up loud
because there were carolers outside.
No, but wasn't he listening to music?
Yeah, but there were carolers outside. And he's like, I can't get dirty with this.
This okay.
Caroling.
Yeah, so he goes down there.
Which also, I made a note about the lady that was caroling. Like the whole time, like you could tell she wasn't actually singing. She was just moving her head so much that it was just like, oh, carol bells, sweet silver bells. I'm moving my head a lot for no reason.
Yeah, she's just swinging her head back and forth as she sings.
It was weird. It was funny. I was like, what the hell? That's not how you sing.
Maybe they did it for some sort of sound reason. They're like, you can't actually sing, but you have to pretend like you are. So he goes down there and stalks the boyfriend, and then...
Also, whenever he first yelled punish at her when he was coming through the door, I didn't hear punish. I heard hummus.
Yeah, I remember that. I could have gone for some hummus right then. But he goes and stalks the boyfriend, and all I remember is he gets thrown out of a window, and there's like big shards of glass sticking out of him.
The guy comes upstairs. He's like, "Where's she at?" And he goes upstairs. I think Santa went upstairs,
right,
to see what was like if she was if there was someone up in her room or something. And he walks past and he sees her body, but I think that was after Santa saw the little girl, and she goes, Santa, or maybe it was after.
No, he kills both of them, and then that little girl comes out.
So I guess he's still upstairs, and he sees her impaled on the antlers, and then he's like, oh shit. And then he starts, I don't know what happens really, but something happens, and then Santa throws him out the window.
Yeah.
And he's impaled on glass.
Yeah. All the glass cut him up, and he died. And then the best part about this scene is...
There was a huge piece out of his chest.
Yeah. But the best part about this scene is just the little girl comes out, and she's like, I see you, Santa.
And he goes, well, have you been naughty? And she goes, no.
And he's like, here. And he hands her the box cutter that he used to kill Pamela with. It's very strange.
Yes. I like that, though.
I liked it, too. That makes it more dynamic. You know, like you have like...
He has right and wrong. She said she's been nice all year.
Yeah, because little kids see the world in a black and white way, and he also too sees it that way. So when she says "I've been good," he's like, "I'll take your word for it."
Yeah.
Here's a box cutter. Yeah. If you got boxes to cut,
this is all I got, and it's got blood on it.
Yeah, and then she's probably going to be traumatized for the rest of her life.
And then then you see him leave, and you see the dead body outside, and then it cuts to the police station where she's the nun is like, he can't be Santa, like this bad things are gonna happen. It's like, how did you know bad things were gonna happen?
Because she's the Dr. Loomis, and she understands the psychology, and then everybody else doesn't seem to care as much. When did
Santa come out? When did Halloween come out?
Halloween, the first one came out in 1979.
Okay, so it had already been its thing.
Yeah. So he goes on to the next house, which is... Or no, he doesn't quite go to the next house.
No, he doesn't go to another house yet. He is walking through the woods, and then there's these boys that are like, we're going to go sledding.
Oh, yeah, the
like,
sledders.
I was like, we're so bad boys. We're sledding in the dark. And then there's these two boys that pop out, and I was like, oh, those are the bad boys. But I wrote down, we're bad boys. We steal sleds.
Yeah, they're bullies, and they steal the sleds
and then
from the
ride
guys
down the hill.
Yeah, you know what this movie needs a little bit of is in the Friday the 13th movies, when Jason is like watching people, the camera will be at his point of view, and you'll see like a hand.
Yeah.
Or like some trees in front of it. Mm-hmm. Like he's watching these people. Them. And you'll get a little bit of flourish of music, like woo, woo, woo.
Yeah.
Yeah, this part definitely needed that.
Yeah.
Because
I think that could have been even like him looking into the basement, because like there are some basements that have like
the little casement windows.
Yeah. So like looking through that and being like, oh, I see them doing it.
Yeah.
Or about to do it.
Yeah. This movie could have benefited from that. I definitely think. So they steal the sleds, and one guy gets his head chopped off as he's sledding down
the hill.
Yeah, he swings this axe.
Well,
at
the
him
first guy goes down. And he's like, "This was so much fun. Come down."
Yeah,
and then the next guy goes, and then his head gets chopped off.
Yeah, and then what happens to the other guy?
I don't know. I didn't know. I don't remember that part.
No, it doesn't.
I don't
matter.
remember it right after it happened.
Yeah, and then there's another part. I'm not sure if it's before or after this. The police are like out looking for him.
That's right after.
Yeah.
So then it cuts to the road, and the police are driving by, and they're like, "Look out for Santa Claus."
Yeah, they put out an all points bulletin or whatever you call that. Mm-hmm. But then they roll up on Santa Claus, and he's climbing a ladder into somebody's house. And so they run into the house, and they pull their guns, and it turns out it's just
a dad dressed up as Santa in the same Santa
surprising
costume.
And I want to ask you this: if you lived in a 2-story house, and your dad climbed a ladder up into your window dressed as Santa Claus,
I'd be freaked out.
Yeah, that would not be a cute, fun little Christmas thing to do.
Yeah, just like walk through the living room and put presents under the tree and then go away. You don't have to go through her window. That's weird.
That was really weird. But of course, film logic dictates that we need to make it look like this guy's doing something nefarious so the police can go in there. Yeah. I'm glad they didn't shoot him, though, at least. Mm-hmm. Because somebody else will not have it that good later in the movie. So then, where does he go to next?
It cuts to the police officers, and then it's the next morning. They're at the police station. She's like, he's gonna go. Like they're like, we can't figure out his next move, and she goes, I know what his next move is. He's gonna go to the orphanage.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And so then they're like, okay, everyone go to the orphanage. And so this cop is driving, and then he turns around.
Right, and then so they get some a cop to pull security on the orphanage.
Yeah, and then they see the kids see Santa walking up the path to go to the orphanage, and then the cop also sees them, and he's like, don't move, and he shoots him because he doesn't stop moving. He just
shoots him right in the back,
walking to the kids. And it turns out it was the priest.
Yeah, and you know what else? Here's another movie logic moment. The priest also happened to be deaf.
Yes.
Which is why he didn't hear.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, but it's just like they're on set or writing the script, and they're trying to think of like, well, people are yelling at him. Why doesn't he turn around? Or
he's deaf.
He's just deaf. Let's just make him deaf, right? But anyway, it was a good moment. It was scary from like, oh, you're afraid the kids might get hurt, or then you're like, well, what if it's not the right guy? It's still too early in the movie for him to show up there. So they're pulling guard on it, and the cop is like looking around. Yeah,
he goes down under the like. There's this like the outhouse, but it's not an outhouse.
It's like some sort of utility thing down there. And,
but like, what's in there? It doesn't really show anything.
Oh no, they don't show what's in there. But I'm sure if we lived in Utah, we'd know exactly what that is.
But I thought it would have been cool, like if it was attached to like it looked like a tornado shelter kind of.
Yeah, it could have been.
But it would have been really cool if we saw like things of Billy's down there. So like maybe he was hiding in there, and it showed he was like more demented than it showed him previously.
Ooh, that would have been interesting. You would have had to set that up earlier in the movie, but yeah, it doesn't make sense that he would really go down there. Another weird movie logic moment, because he doesn't need to protect anybody. If the Santa Claus is down there, he can just wait for him to come out and shoot him.
Yeah. But he goes back upstairs after he looks in this little shelter thing, and then he kills him. He's hits him with the axe.
Right. Yeah.
And they had already pulled all the kids inside because they killed the first Santa. And then they're like, "Hey, he's on his way. He's going to be coming there." And then Mother Superior's like, "Give me my harmonica. We're going to sing some Christmas carols." Yeah.
A great one, Mother Superior.
Yeah. Also, she. It's not called a harmonica. The little tuning thing. Yeah. It's got a name, but she calls it a harmonica, and I was like, why didn't she play the harmonica?
They probably just didn't know what it was called. Or that was just what was written in the script. So they're like, this is what I have to say.
Yeah.
But anyway, Billy actually does show up at the orphanage, and he wants to kill Mother Superior. So he goes...
It's called a pitch pipe.
Oh, pitch pipe. And he goes inside, and he's going to kill Mother Superior.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the last minute...
Someone shoots him. Another cop with the...
Oh, Margaret shows up.
Margaret and the police officer that she was with shows up, and he kills her. Or kills him.
And then he falls on the ground dead, and he says, "Don't worry, kids, you're safe from Santa now," or something.
Yeah.
Or Santa's gone, or something like that.
And then it pans up to his little brother.
Uh-huh.
And I wrote, "And the cycle continues."
But what did he say? He says to Mother Superior, "You've been naughty," or something like that?
Yeah, he just goes, "You've been naughty."
Yeah.
He goes to kill her, but then he dies.
Yeah. And then the sequel is about his little brother.
There's a sequel.
Yes. And it is terrible. Okay. And it's mostly flashback clips of this movie. Yeah. But there's a very famous line. You can look it up on YouTube. It's just go to YouTube and type in "garbage day," because when the younger brother goes out on a killing spree, he's just walking down the street with a gun, and he sees some guy taking out his trash, and he goes, "Garbage day!" He shoots him. It's very strange, but I like it a lot. Cool. Okay, that's the movie. Also, I wanted to mention, like, the ending. He goes to kill Mother Superior, and he fails. But Mother Superior is the villain in this movie.
She is.
So, what is that saying, really? I had such a hard time with the end of this movie because I was like, it wasn't satisfying ending.
It was not. I
Except for
wish
the kid.
Mother Superior would have died.
Yeah, I was like, I want to see Mother Margaret succeed in bringing Billy back, and him being able to address his trauma. And Mother Superior saying, "I'm sorry, I was wrong. My methods were wrong."
Yeah.
But instead...
She never acknowledges her wrongdoing.
No, she never acknowledges it.
Is she in the second movie?
I don't know. I've never seen it. I just know about it. But okay. I don't want to watch that piece of crap. But you want Margaret to succeed because she had the right idea. You want to see Billy... his trauma get healed, even if he has to spend the rest of his life in prison. Yeah. And you want to see Mother Superior be punished, for lack of a better term. Punish Mother Superior. Prime directive for...
Thomas.
That was RoboCop is going to come, and he's going to be vengeance for Billy. That should have been the sequel. Should have been a RoboCop movie. But, yeah, I mean, I think that would have been a much more satisfying ending. But I don't know why didn't they stumble across? Like, that's pretty simple to figure out. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, that's the movie. Aaron, I want to get your no bullshit assessment of Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Well, I would say... I would watch this movie again.
You would?
I would. I actually really enjoyed it. I like horror movies, especially when it's not like... Well, I mean, I like horror movies. So
generally, yeah, you do like horror movies.
I used to hate them when I was little. I was so terrified of horror movies.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, that's understandable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even into my 18s.
Well, you know,
late teens.
I liked horror movies when I was younger, but they were still scary to me.
Oh, I hated them. I absolutely hated horror movies.
No, but I'm saying, like, it's okay. I'm just saying, like, they were scary to me. It was just some sort of weird adrenaline rush that I got from watching it. So some people, like, that's scary in a different way for some people. Yeah. Some people can't handle that.
Yeah, I couldn't handle that.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, that's perfectly fine.
I know it's fine.
Okay.
But in my later years, I've grown to like horror movies. And I actually really enjoyed this one. I can get over like the simple film issues and like the costumes weren't bad at all. It was fine. It was a fine movie. Like I would watch it again. If someone was like, "Hey, let's watch this during Christmas," I'd be like, "Okay, it's better than watching Christmas with the Flaw." I don't know what are those stupid Christmas movies.
Yeah, like Santa Claus versus the Martians or something like that.
What?
Yeah, that's a real movie. Maybe we'll watch
my
it sometime. Or Santa Claus versus the Devil. But anyway, yeah, I know what you're saying because like this is a low budget movie, but everybody did the best they could do on it.
And it was fun.
It was fun, but one of the things they really, really do get right is they said, let's start at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Let's tell the whole story of this kid and then why he did what he did.
Yes.
And it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
There's some logic issues in this movie that don't work out.
Yeah.
But that one thing works.
Yeah.
And they did it right. And that's why this movie endures to this day. It's narratively satisfying.
Yes.
Except from the end.
Yeah.
That is not satisfying. And I was thinking yesterday, like, yeah, I think this will be the last time I'll ever watch this movie. And then today I'm thinking like, no, next Christmas I could watch this movie again.
I could definitely watch
Especially
this again.
if you're like getting toasty with some friends, like having a few drinks.
That would be really fun.
Man, that's a good movie to put on. All right. So we've got a new segment for you guys today.
It's called Four Quadrants.
Four Quadrants.
Four Quadrants.
Do you know what Four Quadrants is, Aaron?
So what this game is...
No. I mean, I named it that for a reason.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so a 4-quadrant movie is a big budget movie that basically appeals to every age group. There's 4 quadrants. There's like young girls, young boys, and then older adults, like older women and older men. Those are the 4 quadrants, I think. I'm probably messing that up.
Young children, boys and girls.
Young girls, young boys, older men, older women.
Men, adult women.
Yeah. Man, I feel like I'm really screwing that up now, but
Yeah,
that's
probably.
why. But anyway, that's the origin of the term 4 quadrants.
Okay.
It's a movie like Jurassic Park, where it doesn't matter what age you are or what gender you are. You're like, you can
invested.
Yeah, you can just thoroughly enjoy Jurassic Park no matter what age you are.
Yeah.
That's a 4-quadrant movie.
Okay. Well, the movies that we're talking about are not going to be considered 4-quadrant movies.
No, they are not.
So I got this idea from a video I saw where this man was describing how there's too many types of animals. He said that there should be 4 types of animals. There should be dogs, cats, water, and bugs. He says that dogs are most things, like dogs are dogs.
Well, long story
bears are
short,
dogs.
he said every animal should be able to fit into one of those categories.
One of those 4 categories. So strange things would be bugs because they're miscellaneous. Water is anything under the water. Cats are smaller dogs.
Right. So we're going to do this with movies. We're going to play a little game where we randomly choose 4 genres of movies.
And we pick a random movie to put in those genres.
Yeah, and we're going to discuss whether it fits in there or whether it should be in a different one or not. So, without any further
It has to
ado,
fit in one of the 4.
It has to fit, but we might not agree
Sure.
which one it fits into.
Okay. So our 4 quadrants are drama, fantasy, funny, not comedy, funny, and musical. These were randomly selected. I did not select these on purpose at all.
Yeah, we wrote down a bunch of genres and we randomly chose one from an app, a randomizing
wheel
app. A wheel app. Okay.
It was wheel. It was very wheel.
All right. What are they again? You wrote them down, right?
Yeah.
Let me see. Put it down so I can see it. Okay.
Don't select a movie thinking of these, though.
Drama, fantasy,
Funny and musical.
funny, and musical. Okay. So the first one we are going to do is
Is it random?
sort of. It's just like people might not know some of these movies.
And yeah, I might not know him.
Okay, so we are going to do Dark Man.
I don't know that movie.
Dark Man. Oh man, this might not be a good one since you don't know it.
Yeah, I don't know most movies though.
Okay, Dark Man is a movie where a scientist has an experiment go wrong and it destroys his face, and the mob is after him for some reason, but he learns how to make these really lifelike masks that only last maybe a few hours. So he's going out to like meet his girlfriend and screw around and try to foil the plans of the mob guys.
Okay.
Right? So what genre is that? It definitely fits in drama.
Fantasy.
Fantasy?
That's not realistic.
Right. Well, fantasy is like dragons and medieval times and stuff like that. Lord of the Rings.
Okay, then drama's fine.
Right? And it's definitely not funny, and it's definitely not a musical.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're off to a rousing start.
Rousing. Real fun.
Okay. Scream. Have you seen Scream?
I have seen Scream.
Okay, that's going to be our next one. What do you think Scream falls under?
Depends on which one. The first Scream.
The original Scream.
Maybe musical.
Musical? What's musical about it?
Don't they have some music? They're at parties. They're like teenagers.
Well, nobody busts out into song and dance.
I could see them doing that though.
Right.
Like thinking of the movie, I can see them being like, you know what, a dance number would be great. Especially because like the two guys that are murdering everyone, like they're doing it as a juxtapose to, or like they're like, we're copying all the other murder movies.
Yeah. Well, it's not a musical. Sorry. I'm going to say it's funny because Matthew Lillard is in it and he played Shaggy in another movie.
He did play Shaggy in another movie. I was going between funny and musical, but I could see it as a musical because some of these are not going to be musicals.
God, do you think they made Scream the musical?
I would love that. That would have been awesome. Googling it.
You're going to have to Google that now. I'll look for the next movie while you're doing that. Got to see Scream the musical. Let's see here. These are all horror movies. Let's do... Okay, I got one for you. Ready?
A stage production of the fan-made Scream musical. So, yes, they're making it into a musical. That's what it says.
Currently making it into a musical.
Yeah. Like, they did, like, this parody song. It's called Scream the Musical Animated Parody Song. And I think they're making a Scream musical based off of that.
Okay. All right. Here, I got one for you, Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not... There is a musical of this, but we're not doing the musical.
Okay.
Okay? Matilda. This is a movie you've seen, correct?
I have seen this.
Okay. I'm going to say it's drama because they're abusing the children in that orphanage.
It is. And also her parents are very abusive.
Really?
Like her whole life is abusive. And then the only time she's ever safe is with Miss, I can't remember her name. The nice one.
Wow.
Yeah,
So-
I would agree. Drama. It's
Okay.
definitely a drama.
Yeah, it's a hard drama, Matilda. Okay, let's see. Let's do Kill Bill. 1 and 2. We'll do them together. I mean, I know I said earlier, Scream isn't one because they break out into song and dance. They don't break out into song and dance. But Tarantino, music is really important. He used music to his advantage in his movies. So I'm going to say Kill Bill is a musical.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah.
I was going to say musical as well.
You just want everything to be a fucking musical.
Duh. Of course I do. But also, like there are such iconic songs in Kill Bill. Like people want to use them to score other things. Like I've read plays where it's like, and it's a song that's similar to this song from Kill Bill.
Yeah. The music from that really, really hit hard. And it was like his movies before that were all needle drops.
I don't know what that means.
Like they were all like oldies. Like he would pick a specific oldie to be in like a Motown song. And his movies before that.
Okay.
That's called a needle drop when you play an actual song. But in Kill Bill, he went for more of a score than like he did like something like Ennio Morricone. Wah, wah, wah. Like there was stuff like that in it. It was really good. All right. So we're in agreement. That's a musical.
Yes, it is. Kill Bill is a musical.
All right. I think we got time for one more. And hopefully it'll be one that we disagree on. Okay. You've seen half of this movie, Predator. Or The Predator.
Oh, it's fantasy. Done.
Is it fantasy?
Yes.
I don't see any dragons in it.
There's an alien.
It takes place in present day, not like on Middle Earth. I say it's drama.
I say it's a fantasy.
What? Okay, make a case.
Do aliens exist on this planet? Not that we know of. No, they don't. They don't exist. So.
Okay, just because it's something made up doesn't mean it's fantasy. Fantasy is like Lord of the Rings, Labyrinth, The Hobbit.
Of these four, it fits into fantasy.
I think it fits into drama because it's very high art. It's about a group of...
Hey, you know what about Predator? The makeup in Predator is so good. The costumes and
too.
makeup, phenomenal. Literally, when I first was watching this ever, all I could think about and all I could talk about was how well their makeup and their costumes fit the characters and told a story about those characters. I use that movie in my makeup class because I have a makeup class because I'm a theater teacher.
So you showed them the movie?
No, I have not shown them in the movie yet, but I have referred to it because some of my kids have seen.
When you show them that movie, don't forget that guy tells like 3 pussy jokes.
Oh, I'm not going to show them the whole movie, but I'll probably show like clips of different scenes of it because the makeup and costumes were they fit the show so perfectly, and they told a different story about each different character, like the way that their army makeup was applied.
Yeah,
it fits their specific character. It tells a story about their character.
Yeah, not just that, like the weapons they carry,
all of it,
their hats, their costume, everything like separates them because it's an action movie. You don't have a lot of time to flesh out 6 characters who are going to die in the first 45 minutes. That's my favorite part about Predator. Once everybody's dead but Arnold Schwarzenegger, I don't care anymore. Arnold Schwarzenegger was not good enough to carry that movie by himself. Like I think they should have let Bill Duke be the hero of the movie and save the day. I thought his character was better developed. He's definitely a much better actor, and he had he was upset because the Predator killed his friend.
Yeah.
Right. But anyway, that's off on a tangent. I say it's drama.
Okay. I think it's fantasy.
Okay, agree to disagree, folks. This has been Four Quadrants.
Woo.
That was a pretty fun game. I enjoyed it.
I liked it too. We just need to get some random movies on a generator so that they're a little more random.
Yeah,
and make sure that they're seeing the movies that both of us have seen.
Right.
Or, I mean, I was fine with like you describing the movie to me.
Yeah. No, I think it worked okay.
Yeah.
We don't need to flesh this out on the podcast. We can. All right. We need to tell them what movie we're going to do next month. Can you? Or it is technically next month when it comes out, but 2 weeks from today, we are going to be doing the movie that Aaron is trying to find right now.
Demolition Man.
Demolition Man. Are you sure?
January 4th.
Okay. Cool. You heard it here, folks. We're going to be doing Demolition Man. Thank you for listening. This has been...
You haven't seen it?
Bye-bye.
Peace out, bitches.
Welcome to
You haven't seen it?
A podcast described by many as the...
As the bird chirping in the background.
It's so hard to read this when you got a microphone in front of you. The podcast described by many...
Read it first and then say it.
I just crossed stuff out. The podcast described by many as the dangerous sprinkles on your nail... Welcome to You Haven't Seen It, the podcast described by many...
Rude.